Now on CoastTV News.
Jet ski store fire.
Saw flames coming out the front of the building. She called 911.
We have live coverage of the flames you could see for miles.
Shutdown over.
It's affecting what's happening in people's homes.
Now plans to fix this bank in Bethany back on.
Replenishment finished. The next step at the Indian River Inlet.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Ribbon cut as Sussex County's new family courthouse is officially open. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. Our top story tonight, the official opening of that building.
The project has been in the works since 2016 and the shovel went in the ground in 2022. Today, the new family court in Georgetown is able to serve the people of Sussex County. Coast TV News reporter Christina D. Robertus is live there. Christina, family court judges say the security upgrade is a big deal.
Yeah, Maddie, every person who spoke today inside the ceremony, inside the new family court building, they mentioned that the cases that come through here are difficult and they're emotionally charged. And they say that's why having more space and more security is really important. And the big scissors, they came out today, the ribbon was cut, and we heard from a few different people, including former Delaware Governor John Carney, also the mayor of Georgetown, Bill West, and we heard from the people who designed this courthouse. They say the new family court up in Kent County will actually look similar to this one. Everyone just celebrating the long road it took to get here.
We deal with a lot of emotional issues in our cases, but we also needed a building that dignified the litigants that come before us, and we also needed a building that was safe. In the old building, it was built in 1989. So it was before 9/11, it was before courthouse security was a big issue.
Now, as for the former family court here in Georgetown, no one could say exactly what is going to be done with it. They say it's in the discussion phase right now, but it will likely be used for another state or court function. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Christina. The new Sussex County Family Courthouse broke ground in June 2022. There it is right there in the new building. It's 107,000 square feet with 8 courtrooms. It's about 3 times bigger than the old building with 500 security cameras and new technology.
Firefighters were dispatched around 1:30 p.m. to the giant jet ski store. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappé is live in Berlin. Kevin, take us through what's happening now, hours after the fire started.
Charlie, as of right now, we're outside the Bayside Jet Drive here in Berlin. And we spoke with the Berlin fire chief who said that this whole building you see behind me will be demolished due to how much damage the fire has caused to it. Now, this is the front of the store, and hours ago, it was engulfed in flames. Now, on your screen now is a look at the thick smoke when we arrived on scene. And when we went closer, we saw multiple responders working to put out the flames. At that time, heavy smoke was still pouring out of the building, and water was being blasted from both sides. According to Berlin Fire Chief Andrew Gruden, everyone inside was able to get out safely. No injuries were reported. We spoke with Adam McMillan, who works right across from Bayside Jet Drive and was one of the first people to see what happened.
We were grabbing propane tanks, getting them away from the building, making sure nothing was going to explode. They were trying to move boats and whatnot away from the building and just making sure everybody was out of the way.
According to Gruden, the fire is under control but not completely out, and the cause of the fire starting is still under investigation. I'm Kevin Zappé, live in Berlin, Coast TV News.
Thank you, Kevin. A severed gas line caused trouble today. The Ocean City Fire Department says they were called to the area of 8th Street and Washington Lane just before 10 a.m. The boardwalk was closed 1 block north and south. The fire department says that the hazard has since been resolved and it's been turned over to the gas company.
While the historic 43 government shutdown is over, it did not just hit D.C. It pushed pause on projects here on Delmarva, and in Bethany, the Loop Canal project, it had to wait 43 days before work resumed because of the shutdown. Town leaders say now it can get started, and once that wall is done, there won't be flooding downtown. Now, the town says all this work could take about 1.5 years. We spoke with people who are just happy to see politicians get the job done.
I just think it's about time they started thinking about America instead of politics.
The shutdown holding things like that up, especially the SNAP program where it's affecting what's happening in people's homes, breaks my heart.
According to the Ag Secretary, federal SNAP benefits should start going out again on Monday, and local projects like that one in Bethany should start progressing once again.
This brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know what should be funded first as this work resumes.
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 70% say social services, 14% say public works, 12% say small businesses, and 4% say grant programs.
And here's a comment from Ken. He says, our friends and neighbors went 45 days too long worrying about whether they were going to be able to feed their own families.
If you haven't voted yet or left a comment, you can still do that right now on the Coast TV app, and we'll have updates at 11. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Ocean City. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a look at our forecast.
Well, one thing is for sure, it is absolutely gorgeous outside, and we're going to enjoy more in the way of clear skies. You may have a smidgen, teeny tiny chance of perhaps catching a little bit of the northern lights, but the activity in the atmosphere is not as good. But in other words, the windshield is clearer, but the activity is waning a bit. But in Rehoboth Beach right now, we're at 50 degrees at this present time, and we're going to drop back to 43 with mostly clear skies by the 10 o'clock hour. Now, we've had some relatively gusty winds, but we are going to see things warm up a little bit more for us. We've been on a bit of a warming trend as of late. We're about 4 degrees warmer than we were just last year for us, actually, yesterday, pardon me, for us, actually. And so the small craft advisory has been allowed to expire over towards Broadkill Beach, but it is still active for Rehoboth as well as Ocean View down towards Fenwick Island. So we're still bracing for about 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Coming up, we're going to talk about the chance of rain over the weekend. But for right now, back to you.
Paul, thank you. Today, Rehoboth Beach's police chief outlined what the city needs to keep both drivers and pedestrians safe. He told that to a new committee. Coast TV News reporter Nicole Richter shows us what police want to see and what pedestrians say is dangerous.
Cars driving down Rehoboth Avenue and people crossing the street. Those were the two main topics today at the Rehoboth Beach City of Streets and Safety Advisory Committee meeting. Police Chief Keith Banks says it's a year-round problem and not just in the summer.
The speed limit is 25 miles an hour and your average speed through the day, you have 2,000 or 3,000 cars to go through that, is 27 miles an hour. Well, that's not to say that somebody didn't do 33 or 40 and all, but the mean was, 27. But 27 miles an hour average, if you're in a busy weekend morning on some of those streets, may be way too fast because of what's going on.
Patty Simpson lives in Rehoboth part-time and says speeding is a problem.
They just kind of come flying down Rehoboth Avenue and they're not really paying attention. And a lot of the traffic rules change, like now you can turn at certain intersections where you wouldn't have been able to in the summer. So if you're not paying attention, you could be trouble.
For others, the problem isn't just speeding, but the risk of crossing some of the city's busiest streets also applies.
Crossing some of these busy roads is very dangerous. I worry about even with the lights that they have. A lot of cars don't pay attention to those safety lights. They'll try to zoom around, and I'm very concerned for the pedestrians, my own safety and others.
The committee discussed lowering the speed limit and adding new signs, but nothing was decided yet.
As Rehoboth Beach continues to grow, Chief Banks says that meetings like this one today not only help the department, but it gives them a chance to review problem areas, hear from the community, and plan ahead, whether it's from speeding on the side streets or pedestrian safety downtown. He says the department hopes to make changes that'll help drivers and pedestrians navigate the city more safely. In Rehoboth Beach, I'm Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
The Indian River Inlet has been replenished. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says they finished pumping sand yesterday, placing about 500,000 cubic yards in total. For comparison, a standard dump truck holds only about 10 to 15 cubic yards.
New tonight, the Delaware House of Representatives passed a bill which will allow them to participate remotely sometimes. First, it must be with the Speaker's permission and only during special or extraordinary sessions outside the January to July time frame that lawmakers meet regularly. You may recall this June virtual voting was proposed by the House Speaker as a possible solution to Milton Representative Stell Parker Selby's absence the entire legislative session. Parker Selby ultimately resigned.
And we're just getting started this evening.
A piece of history on the move in Lewis when these cannons were first put in place.
Well, it's indeed going to be true. We are going to stay clear, a bit quiet, but a bit on the chilly side as well as we tumble back into the 30s once again.
But first, take a step back in time to see how lives were saved along the coast long before the Coast Guard was formed, when we're back in just 60 seconds.
Long before modern rescue boats and even radios, a group of local heroes saved hundreds using nothing but courage and some simple tools. In this week's Coastal Connection, reporter Kevin Zappe takes us to the nation's oldest life-saving museum right here on Delmarva.
Before the Coast Guard, the U.S. Life Saving Service was dedicated to rescuing shipwrecked sailors. And the old station along Route 1 is now a place where visitors can step back in time to learn just how important this station once was.
At that time, most people couldn't actually swim. So even if, shore was in sight, they were probably going to die before they got over here. So really important to have somebody who could respond.
Tyler Dryblatt is the interpretive programs manager for the Delaware Seashore State Park. And he gave us a tour inside.
Now let's say you were actually on patrol and you saw a ship in distress, right? You can't call them up on the cell phone, can't use a walkie-talkie. So the way you're going to alert your friends is by using a flare, these Cosden flares.
After alerting everyone via flare, the real work started. Rescue crews sprinting to the boat room to move 1,000 pounds of gear to the water.
So you're moving literally a ton of equipment, for miles on sand to the wreck and then starting your rescue.
According to Dryblatt, the life-saving station responded to 60 wrecks and saved more than 400 lives. This job came with limited living space, little pay, and constant risk. So why would someone take on the role?
They were really held in high regard. In a time before like movie stars or sports heroes, surfmen were some of the first big public heroes.
The life-saving station started in 1876, before merging with the Revenue Cutter Service to form the U.S. Coast Guard in 1915. Although this cupola is no longer used to watch for shipwrecks, it's still being used to help boaters out at sea.
And just last year, we put up something called Station Keeper, which is a whale monitoring program. So we'll get signals alerting us to whales in the area, and that will actually pass it off to other ships and kind of help reroute them. So again, we're not saving human lives here anymore, but we are still saving lives, and I just think it's a really cool legacy for us to have.
If you would like to see some part of coastal history, be sure to stop at the Life Saving Museum here in Rehoboth Beach that shows you what it took to save lives on the coast. I'm Kevin Zappe in Rehoboth Beach, Coast TV News.
Beautiful, pristine kind of a look as far as the atmosphere is concerned. Absolutely clear skies is what we're going to enjoy for the rest of this evening. However, it comes with at least the caveat of it being extremely chilly, if nothing else, of just short of cold, actually, for the early morning hours for the next few days in a row. And then next week, we're back to full-fledged winter-type feel in the air. So don't put away your coats just because it's going to feel a little mild for the next couple of days in a row. In Ocean City, though, right now, we're at 52 degrees, and we're going to drop down to 43 by 10 o'clock under mostly clear skies. Take a look at these temperatures now. They're falling fast. I mean, we have clear skies, relatively light wind, so that allows us to enjoy the beautiful effect of radiational cooling. However, we're dropping into the 40s, 46, for example, in Gumboro, 48 for us actually, in Dagsboro versus Gumboro. We're looking at 48 degrees right now in Delmar. So we're clear for right now. And initially, we were concerned about continuing with the small craft advisory across the Slaughter Beach. That's expired, but we still have the active small craft advisory for us for Rehoboth down towards really along all of Highway 1 for the most part. Now, the temperatures have been trending a little bit below the norm for this time of the year. I mean, take a look at this. 59 is the normal high. Then 40 is the normal low. Now, the low has been a little bit milder, but the highs have not quite reached the mark, 57. So I was kind of curious about the trend that we've been experiencing over the last 31 days. And so we've been trending below norm for the last 31 days, more so than, let's say, above the norm. So if it feels like it's been a bit of a chilly fall season thus far, it's not in your imagination. It's a climatological fact. 36 for the overnight low for us in Seaford as well as Delmar. We're looking for 36, the mid-30s in Georgetown. What is it going to feel like tomorrow? We'll have temperatures in the 50s, but it's just going to feel like the 40s because we have the winds coming out of the west still racing at about 20 miles per hour. Now, we'll have clear skies, but we'll start off 40s along the coast, 30s for us inland, upper 30s. But then as we recover in the afternoon, cloud cover will overtake the area, a little more in the way of moisture. That'll make it feel a little fuzzier, so to speak. I like to say fuzzier. That fuzzy feeling, because of the more moisture in the atmosphere, won't be such a cutting cold feel because we'll have cloud cover in abundance for Saturday as well, cloudy. But then we'll have a sprinkle or two that's going to slide across. That chance of rain over the weekend is more of a quick in and out type of a thing. The real deal is going to be the winds, particularly kicking in Sunday going into next week. And the winds are going to make it feel much cooler, you see, because that rain pushes off across relatively rapidly. That's not the big deal. How it's going to feel next week, that's the biggie. In the 30s we go for Monday, and in the 20s. Did you catch that while you're fixing your dinner? Yeah, that's what it's going to feel like. Yeah, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. I know the temperatures say 30, but next Monday and Tuesday, that 34 is going to feel like 20-something.
Thank you, Paul. Professional basketball for the first time on the Delmarva Sports Network. DSN's Kayla Santiago and Tyler Atkin are standing by in Wilmington, Delaware to tell us more about the Philadelphia 76ers NBA G League affiliate.
What's going on, everybody? We are here at Chase, a field house, the home of the Delaware Bluecoats. I'm Kayla Santiago. He's Tyler Aiken, and for the first time ever, we are going to have NBA G League basketball on the Delmarva Sports Network.
Kayla, it's an exciting night. The Delaware Bluecoats, who are the NBA G League affiliate of the Philadelphia 76ers, started their season 1-0, and we have Game 2 on DSN. It's one of 11 that we'll broadcast this year.
That it is, and more exciting news for the fans on the Delmarva Peninsula. You will get to see 76ers guard Jaron McCain on your TVs tonight. He had a fantastic rookie campaign a year ago with Philadelphia, had that knee injury that ended his season, and in the beginning of this year had a thumb injury as well. He's only played 3 games with Philadelphia, so he is with Delaware tonight on assignment by the 76ers to help him get into some rhythm before he heads back to the city of brotherly love. Tip-off tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network. It's the 1-0 Delaware Bluecoats taking on the 2-0 Greensboro Swarm. Make sure you tune in to DSN tonight, and we will see you all on the broadcast.
Fort Miles and Cape Henlopen State Park had cannons that were originally located by the bathhouse. Now the cannon has been moved to the outside Air Artillery Park for Fort Miles Museum. Fort Miles treasurer said that the cannons were first put in place in World War II. He says they never used cannons have now been spruced up with new axles and wheels.
They don't see the hydraulics of them going up. Well, that's probably just me. All right, so anyway, take a look at our Salisbury. 50 degrees right now. We'll drop to 41 by 10 o'clock. Still have an active small craft advisory for us from Lewis and Rehoboth Beach all the way down towards Chincoteague, and then on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay area, bracing for 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Mary Collins of Millsboro, you're our umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. And then we're going to keep up with your forecast. Call our weather line. It's sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstedt, Mandalis, and Federico. Your forecast is just a phone call away. And then here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We're going to go up, up, and away till Sunday.
And then down, down, down. But we can enjoy the weekend.
You got to ride the roller coaster this time of year.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get through it. I believe in us. So thanks, Paul, and thanks for joining us here at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The nightly news is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.